I did most of the servicing on the car last week with the oil and oil filter. Unfortunately I didn't have the air filter available at the time. The air filter is in this container at the rear or side of the engine. I'm just going to undo the screws. You don't need to lift them out, they just come loose once you've got to a certain point. For the Golf TDI there were just 2 Phillips headed screws at the rear, and once those are undone it will be possible to just lift the airbox up so that you can undo the clips on the left hand side of it. Once you've removed the 2 screws at the rear, the next stage is to just undo the clip for the MAF sensor and to use some mole grips to lift this clip off the air pipe. You may be able to do it without doing that, but it just gives a little bit more flexibility for being able to lift the airbox out. So press the clip at the back and that will come off, and then mole grips on here just allows you to move that. Once you've removed the clip off there and removed the MAF sensor, it's a case of being able to just wiggle these clips out at the back and you can lift off the top of the airbox. You notice here this is the MAF sensor, so try and make sure you don't knock that or get any dirt into it when you're lifting it off. And then you can lift out the air filter. You can see this one is actually quite dirty. It's only been in 20,000 miles and the VW recommendation is for 40,000 miles. So one of the reasons I change it every other service is because this obviously gets quite dirty. The filter I'm using this time is a Napa filter. I would normally use a Bosch filter, but my parts supplier didn't have any at this time. But if you actually look at the difference, they seem to be pretty much identical. I can't see a lot of difference between them. It's quite interesting looking at the filters and comparing the colour of them. VW only recommends changing the filter every 40,000 miles. This one has done 20,000 miles, so I'd probably even suggest it might be worth doing at 10,000 miles. The cost is minimal for a filter. It's about £5, so it's actually probably beneficial to do it more frequently. Once the filter's in place, it's just a case of the reverse of put the filter cover back on, refit the pipe, refit the connector for the MAF sensor, and then do up the screws. Once the airbox is back in place, then refit the MAF sensor clip. Just pushes on there, and we can just move that's the last 2 screws done up. The MAF sensor wire lead is connected, clips back in place, and that's the job done.